Chillax. Hello, and welcome to Ask Madam, where we ask burning questions, and sometimes they get answered. Okay, no, I'm not doing that. So anyway, here we are. We are in the broadcast, and I'm hoping that some people will notice that we are on, and I'm going to help them along by sharing the show. And of course, I have Sam with me this evening, and he's a wonderful individual. So anyway, I'm going to share the show and let everyone know what we're doing. We're going to talk about the zodiac signs tonight because, frankly, I think it has helped me immensely to be able to know how to more effectively deal with people based on their zodiac sign. Because really, I find it holds true. The traits that, that we are attributed through the zodiac sign that we are under are pretty accurate a lot of the time. So we're going to delve into that just a bit. But first, the sharing. And if you're out there watching the show, please share. If you visit my YouTube, please subscribe and like and all that. And same for all of our Facebook stuff. I don't really have to tell you guys, but I have to tell you. And so I'm going to go to my little witchy place here, Skeleton Key Network, and I am going to look for my show, and then I'm going to share the crap out of it. There it is. Subscribe and like, and there we go. Now I can get that done. And I am going to share like no bunny's business. What did I say? It was Struggle Bunny. Yeah, my daughter will appreciate that one. I said I was kind of being a struggle bunny today because I couldn't get things done, it seemed like, and just wasn't exactly where I wanted to be with the day. But sometimes you just have to accept that you can't build Rome in a day. And I just can't. So and it's okay. And life's a journey, not a destination. And life's more exciting if you're really living it. And that's true. So if you do have any questions, please submit them to Skeleton Key Network or Skeleton Key Witches at gmail.com. We'll give that a scroll there. Skeleton Key Witches at gmail.com. And I'll get that. And you can also contact me if you're interested in forming a paranormal team here in the Midwest. You can contact me at spirit.robinswanson at gmail.com. So then you can start to investigate the paranormal and be a part of our spirit team because we're fun people. God dang it. God dang it, we're just fun, So anyway, we're doing that today, and ask away, ask any questions. Our venue, the She Shop is going to be our venue, so we're going to hang out there, and I really feel fairly confident that we're going to have some paranormal activity. I really want to contact somebody on the other side. I'm really, really wanting to do that. I'm stacking my cards. We're doing a seance, and then we're also gonna have the scrying mirrors out. So if anybody wants to try that, or if somebody shows up in a scrying mirror, we'll check that out. So because I'm kind of looking forward to just this whole season um, of, we have the fall equinox coming. What is it, a couple weeks? And the 22nd. Yeah.
Weeks.
And then ghost hunting day is the 24th. So, I mean, things are happening. And so come watch my show. I am having a bit of restless leg. So, not even going to sugarcoat it. I get restless leg and I get it bad. And so I take medication for it. And I did take my pill beforehand, but it doesn't really have enough time to kick in yet. So I'm kind of goofy and, twitchy over here, but it is what it is. I don't know if any of the rest of you have it. It's kind of not fun. And I think that there's probably quite a few of you out there that do have it. And you'll, be able to relate to how you just can't sit still sometimes. I'm like that little squirmy kid, and you just want to say, God, sit still, kid. But I can't. And I'm like, swinging my legs and stuff. And yeah. And I was the little kid too that never wanted to go to bed. I was like, would fight it, every step of the way. And, be like, I'm not tired. I can stay awake. Even though I was just exhausted. So, but it's it is what it is. I am a Libra. We'll talk about Libras a little bit since I am a Libra. Sam is a Gemini. So, and we get along like peas and carrots. So anyway, come watch my podcast. And I'm going to send that out there to the universe. So come on in, universe. Watch my podcast. It's fun. So anyway, with Libras, we are, we like art and artistic people. We're kind of bohemian, we'll surround ourselves with artists and musicians and people that are creative. We're very happy when we're surrounded by creative, fun people. And we always have to have our bling, because you have to have the bling. So this is watermelon tourmaline, which is actually my birthstone. And thought I should sport that because it is a birthstone. And watch this. Can you see? I don't know if they can see on camera. It glows when you hit it with the black light. I don't know if you can really see it on there,
put your shirt really towards
the I don't know which way I'm supposed to turn. And I almost hit it. And no, that way. Well, anyway, it's a little bit lackluster on camera, but fun in real life. Here, let's see if these are beryl, because beryls show up. Oh, look you can see those are glowstones right there. Those are fun. So anyways, yeah. And then I have a glow marble that I did a little wire wrap on, but you can, whoa, check it out. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, and you can find these Vaseline glass marbles here and there. I wish I had more of them, but they're really cool, and I dig them. And if you have some Vaseline glass marbles that you're wanting to shed yourself of, look me up. SkeletonKeyWitches@gmail.com. So anyway, Libras like shiny stuff, and we like, artistic people, and we are sometimes artistic ourselves. And we are air sign, which I always thought, I love water, but I love being on the water, which is like air coming at you. So that's, where I was thinking. The motorcycle too. We like to ride together. I drive, he rides. It's fun. And I love the air, just that wind therapy. It's exciting and it feels good. And it's because I'm an air sign.
The
So
seventh house.
seventh house. So tell us, Sam, a little bit about Geminis.
I don't know. He's creative. Not all of us are the same. People say we are.
No, I haven't met two Geminis that are exactly the same. I mean, not. I mean, even like they do kind of have an alter ego. One of my subs, my other. It's funny. Two of my collared subs are Gemini. So the other one, Sparky. Sparky leads like a life. It's kind of bizarre, but it makes him happy. And so, you know, he really is kind of like two people. And so, I think they have to kind of, rectify themselves with that. So, but also they are air signs as well. And so,
The third house.
third house. Oh, nice. And then let's see. There's three sign groups. The fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, which Dylan's a Sagittarius. So he fits in there because fire and air signs are compatible. Because, if you think of it, air feeds a fire, And then water are Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. That's right. Oh, and he is on the cusp of Cancer. So, bit emotional at times, but not bad. So then Earth signs, Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo, and they tend to be grounded and, very steady people. My daughter is a Taurus. The thing about her, she didn't like to be told what to do or what decision she had to make. Like, if I would just tell her, here, put these clothes on for school, she would get really not happy and she, cry and throw a fit. When I started giving her the choice of this outfit or that outfit, things went a lot smoother. So from then on, I give her, limited choices, but still choices. They don't like to be told what to do. And you don't want to ever, like make them feel like they got their back to the corner. Because like a bull, they'll start doing this and they'll, get their horns up and they'll take off and yeah, you better run. They'll charge you and they will have their way. So they're like a big bull, just yeah, they'll kind of muscle you around until they get their way. But they they're very tolerant, usually people that are very steady, so I mean, as someone you can depend on, they're not too shabby. So then tell us a little bit more, Sam, about the different signs, like like which signs get along the best, do you know?
Depending on which one's yours.
Well, like who do I get along the best with?
You get along with other air, and air signs get along with other air signs of fire. Same thing as fire signs, and earth signs get along with water signs or other earth signs. Same thing with water signs. But it can be like that. That's the way it's supposed to be. But if you like me and you was born just with completely opposite of everything that you had to deal with in a zodiac chart, plane, whatever you want to say.
Did you get a birth chart?
You learn to just start to get along with every thing and every sign. You learn to handle them a little bit better. So that's how it is.
And I think that's why it's good to study the signs and to figure out what traits they tend to have, because then it's like you can be so much more effective in your communication with people. You can approach a situation in a fashion that they can uh, relate to. Because if you're not an effective communicator, you're not going to accomplish a ton. Either at home or at work. If you don't effectively get your ideas across to people, and also accept what they have to say, then that's not effective communication. And communication breakdown usually is no good. Not a good thing. I think Sam's getting bitten by mosquitoes. Oh, it's terrible here.
Though.
It's horrid here. The mosquitoes are actually really terrible here. Iowa, on the Mississippi, and in between the marsh and the Mississippi, not a good place. It's a great place if you're a mosquito. It's an awesome place, and you can always get a meal because Sam's right here. They love him.
Yeah.
He's so sweet.
It's part of living by the river, though.
Well, there's about a bazillion mosquitoes out there. No,
same thing even happened if you was just living in a regular just marsh or overgrown vegetation.
Well, yeah, I am a swamp witch.
It's like the East Village.
I'm gonna the East Village, yeah. There's probably a lot of mosquitoes there.
Yeah. By some of those back trails and whatever.
Oh, and think about Duck Creek. There's probably a lot of mosquitoes on Duck Creek. Yeah. That's that one that goes by that cemetery, the bike path.
Talking about downtown?
No, in Davenport, like up on 35th Street or whatever.
35th.
Yeah. The bike path out there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Duck Creek's out there. I think that might...
Eastern.
Yes. There could potentially be a lot of mosquitoes there.
I mean, yes and no. Actually, yeah, yes and no. Depending on the area you're at.
On
the bike trail.
Yeah, how well they spray, how much tall grass there is, if they mow the grass or not, and not only that, but standing water. They won't like hatch out in the creek per se, because they
as I said, if you by the waterfall, it's not that bad.
No,
until after you leave, then they get your feet. No, but if you by like running like water, like a waterfall or something, it's not that bad.
No, it isn't that bad, because they don't breed in running water. It has to be stagnant pool. So yeah, that's it. Then I was giving the neighbor, I was kind of like, why do you need to run the pump on your pond, because you're just breeding mosquitoes. And they were terrible last year too. So, but it is what it is. And they're part of the ecosystem. And every time I think, I wish I could eradicate every single mosquito that ever lived on this planet. And then I think, well, what would bats eat? And, bats are kind of cool. They're, a little iffy, but I still like them. I try not to kill them when I, have them in my home. I try to just capture them and return them to the wild. Yeah, I try and do that with all the living things that manage to find their way into my house. The last thing was a rabbit. I think it had help getting into my house from Bob. And it had a little help getting in. And then it didn't make it out alive. But I did take it away from Bob, and we hired it, poor thing. Jeez. Yeah, I'm kind of fidgety. Oh, hey, I know what I'll do. I know I have that somewhere. If only I can find it. Oh dear, well, I don't know. It's around here somewhere. The flogger. I have a flogger, and it's pretty much dedicated specifically to whacking me in the leg when I have restless leg. And by God, that thing works. So anyway, tell us more, Sam, about your experience with Tauruses.
Man, we don't get into that.
Yeah, how about,
I ain't gonna put my friends out there like that.
Well, how about have you ever met any
not
other
saying that it's all
Geminis that were
bad,
like, you know, totally fun and you guys like had a great time? Like, woo, yeah, Geminis, we're just like tearing up the town. I could see Geminis tearing up a
I
town.
always had my cousin DeAndre.
Oh,
When I was
okay.
growing up, his birthday is 2 days before mine.
Sweet.
Mine's on the 17th. Mine's June 17th. His June 15th.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to kick all the time with my cousin.
Nice. I had a few Libras that I hung out with. Well, my dad was a Scorpio, but he had an October birthday. But my little brother Bob, he's a Libra, and then my cousin Tammy. She's Squirmy Tammy. She is and I talk about Squirmy, but anyway, she's also a Libra. So, but we're just Fabo. We're Fabo people. Fabo. We really are kind of fabulous because that's one of the things about Libras. My mother was a Sagittarius, so is Dylan. Dylan isn't here today, sadly. Or we'd squish him in here in this in this bed too. So, but anyway, yeah, he's very giving. He likes to help people. But his thing is, don't make me sorry I helped you. So yeah, you don't want to like later go, God, what was I thinking? I've done that before. I've helped people that I later had to say, what was I thinking? Because honestly, my best advice, if you notice someone treating some people a certain way, don't ever have the egotistical thought in your head that they'll never treat you that way. Because, yeah, they will. And it's really only a matter of time. And so, look at people's behavior. Trust in them that they are being themselves. And, if you don't want to subject yourself to that, then that'd be a good time to just sort of bow out, on that one. So that's my best advice. I had the audacity to think that I was so much better than everyone else and would never be treated that way. Yeah, right. I know. It's a crazy thought, isn't it? Craziness. Anyway, so, different. That was actually a Gemini. Geminis can be like so great or so not great. I don't know. Do we know? We were asking the question, what sign are most serial killers? I don't know either, but it wouldn't surprise me to know that they were like, I hate to say it, but Scorpio. I mean, if something like, if love has gone bad for Scorpios, it could get ugly. And because they're so invested in this relationship and they are passionate and they like, I'm just going to say it, they're sexy people. And they do, but they don't just want that. They really want love. They want to have passion in their lives. And there's nothing wrong with that. Scorpios are good people, but they kind of scare me, so I steer clear. And it's just a possessive thing, you know. If you get in a relationship with a Scorpio, they'll, if they really care for you, they will be very, very, very possessive, and they will tend to be jealous and controlling, you know. So I kind of steer clear. They're like the stalkers, you know, because they get so invested in it. And, but, you know, not to say they all are. God love them. My father was not a stalker, and he was a Scorpio. So, and, you know, I have several friends that are Scorpios, and, you know, they can be great folks. Anybody, really, any sign can be a stellar human being. But they all have sort of these traits, you know. They sort of have, you know, some of them are way more pronounced than others, but, you know, you got to take it all with a bit of a grain of salt. But yeah, they're, it's called quadruplicities, and it refers to the sign's modality or qualities. And I thought that was a cool word, and I hadn't heard it before. So I was going to lay that one on you guys. Quadruplicities. Thought that was kind of cool. So, anyways, then, you know, there are cardinal signs. Let's go back to this here. There's the cardinal signs, which I am a cardinal sign. And here we go. I'm a cardinal sign, and so are Cancer and Capricorn and Aries. So, and then you have the, these occur at the beginning of a new season and are excellent at taking action and starting initiative, which I think that's pretty true for me. Then there's the, fixed. The Taurus, the Leo, the Scorpio, and Aquarius. And these occur in the middle of the seasons and are known to be steady, consistent forces that maintain movement and mutable. Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Pisces occur at the end of a season and possess effortless fluidity, well suited to change and transformation. Hey, speaking of, it's the Bobber, my tuxedo kitty, the Bobber. Oh, Bob, don't put your butt in my face. Every time I think about the cat butt, I think about somebody, I don't know if it was a joke or if they were really marketing these things, but you could put it over the cat's tail and this little jewel would fall then, you know, on the bunghole. So you didn't have to look at the cat's butthole when they were walking away. Oh, golly. The things that, you know, people would buy. I'm not going to bejewel Bob's butthole. Oh, no. It's not today, at least. So anyway, as we can, let's see, let's explore each sign's unique personality, tribute, or attributes. So, with Aries, they're kind of show-offy. And, oh, okay. Hey, Lucille Ball was a Gemini. That's cool. That's very cool. And then, let's see. Gemini my grandfather was a Gemini, and he was just a dandy fellow. He sang like Dean Martin. He sang like Dean Martin. And I can still like see him, you know, grabbing grandma and dancing around the kitchen, you know, You're nobody till somebody loves you. Nobody till somebody cares. So he would sing that and dance with grandma in the kitchen, and it was beautiful. And that was so nice. And so anyway, Geminis are, it's really cool people. And they are very they have like this duality, and they they're not two-faced, but they have this like not good and evil, but just like, they have this other side to them. They're playful and intellectually curious, and that's for sure. And they are juggling a variety of passions, hobbies, careers, and friend groups. And they're social butterflies of the zodiac. And it's because they have that duality of personality that they have to be able to, associate with lots of different people to satisfy, that part of them. So they are quick-witted and can talk to anyone about anything. So that's and they find them buzzing about the dance floor, and that's I like it when Sam dances. He's a good dancer. It's fun. Anyhow, let me put that down. Do what? He does have moves like Jagger. We were actually watching Jagger and comparing, and yes, he does have moves like Jagger. So then, let's see. I'll go back here, and then Taurus is they are an Earth sign, and they enjoy relaxing in serene, bucolic environments, surrounded by soft sounds, soothing aromas, and succulent flowers. So, but they can tend to be stubborn, but they, are loving people as well. So, let's see. Okay, very good. And then Cancer, represented by the crab. And they have both emotional and material realms. They're highly intuitive, and their psychic abilities manifest in tangible spaces. So they are crusty on the outside like a crab, but soft on the inside. So often their rough exterior masks a very tender heart inside. So, they'll pretend they didn't get their feelings hurt, even if they did. So, Cancers kind of live in their feelings. They tend to say things they don't mean, and then later have to apologize because they didn't really mean to say that. But they did, and then oops, well, sorry about that. And so you just have to either forgive or say no. My boundaries have been, trod upon once too many. So, that's all in how valuable you think, how much you value your friend, So I think if you value your friends, you can forgive almost anything, really, if they are truly, repentant, and they don't, keep doing the same dumbass thing again and again. Then I think it's easier to forgive friends. So, as a friend, if you are asking someone to forgive you for some transgression, at least have the common decency to not keep repeating that same thing. So, just a word of advice. Then there's Leos. The Leos. They are different from men to women, much like the Leo, the lion. The female lion is a go-getter. She goes out there, she takes it down, she drags it home, and then he pushes everyone out of the way and eats first. that's kind of the way male Leos are. They are a little mew kitten inside that needs to be pet and told that it's a good kitten. And but outside he's a lion and he's gonna go and be everyone's hero today and accept all that praise extremely gracefully. But act if you don't act thankful or grateful enough for the Leo, they'll kind of start hating on you. And never lie to them. Oh dear God, if you even tried to tell a fib to a Leo, they'd call you out on it and then hate you forever for being a liar. So that's one of their traits. But if you play it straight with the Leo, and you are appreciative of the things that they do for you, then you should get along just fine. So, but it's like the male and female lions though, because the men Leos tend to be like the big cat, And then Virgos, all I think when I work. I'm busy. I'm working. Virgos would work through Christmas and then wonder why their family got mad at them. They had to work. I mean, Christmas, what? What's this, big deal? I had to work. Because there's nothing more important than work to a Virgo, I think. I think it's just that they're really in their own place, and they are an earth sign, so they're grounded. They are deep-rooted presence in the material world. That's, I think, why their work is so important to them. Have you found what's your impression of Virgos? What we were saying, like,
I guess Virgos kind of be just having their eyes on the prize.
Well, yeah, that's true. They do.
But they're worried about the main objective.
Well, I don't think they care much about whether or not they offend someone.
No, it's part of their nature.
Yeah, I think they just are like, whatever, Oh, hey, we have Robert White, dark colored clothing. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I know I wear a lot of black, and it's like, why are the mosquitoes biting me? Stillwater, yep. And then looking after a fishing camp in the far north of Queensland, Australia. And the pump for the water to the camp had millions of mosquitoes surrounding it. That's terrible. And millions. Oh, God. That's like a nightmare to me. Millions of mosquitoes, like all buzzing and making that noise. Oh, God, kill me now. So anyway, we're moving on. So September, Virgos, we're in Virgo right now. So I think, yep, we're in Virgo right now. So happy birthday to all you working hard Virgos. And they are kind of perfectionists, which is great. Makes them diligent and consistent. So that's good. And then Libra, because, we're next. We're coming up next. And our birthdays are in October, mostly, late September. Yeah, October. And then we're into fairness. That's, you see the scale as our, we're the only inanimate object of the zodiac. Wow. But yes, we like to try and establish balance and equilibrium. And it's tough to do some days, but I try. And then, too, we always try to be fair because it just kills me. I hate bullies. I really hate bullies. I think that people who aren't fair to others, or take advantage of others are pretty much I'll stand right up to them and tell them, not today, not here. And I'll go toe to toe with them. And I just had feeling that someday it might, bite me in the butt, and that bully might just, take my head off. But until then, I'm going to stand up to him and go, here it is. Come get it. You want it? Let's go. Let's rumble. Because I just don't back down to bullies. Not going to do it. Not ever. No. That's bad. You can't back down to bullies. You have to stand up to them, because really they're just full of bravado and bull crap. And if you do stand up to them, usually they'll back down from you, because inside they're really they're fearful, and they use that bravado to cover their fear, and whatever that fear might be. And frankly, I don't care. And if you're bullying somebody, I'm going to stand up for the person that you're bullying. So, if I come along and I see somebody getting bullied, I'm probably going to say something, because I just don't go for that stuff. It's not right. And so that's pretty much me. And then the Scorpios, God love them. They are elusive and mysterious and most understood of signs. I don't know. I think I understand them pretty well. So, but they have courage and psychic abilities. So that's kind of cool. And another of my collared subs is also a Scorpio. So yeah, I have 2 Geminis, a Scorpio, and a Sagittarius. It's an interesting combination. So, but it's working. And so then they have okay. But yeah, they're the passionate ones, always looking for passion in their lives. So, and when they find it, they're really pretty, good mates, because they'll want to hang on to that, usually. Can't say that for everyone. But then the Sagittarius, they're a fire sign, and they know no bounds. They are intellectual and spiritual and very generous. My mother would have given the shirt off of her back to help somebody, if she thought they needed it worse than her. And she was always very, very kind, loving, giving person. A bit of a hedonist, and she was good time Sal. I loved her, but she was good time Sal. And we did have some good times, though, in all honesty. So, but yeah, my mom lived a bit vicariously through me. And I guess, everybody does it a little bit through their children. So then Capricorn is, they're like a mountain goat, and they are patient, perseverant, ambitious. So they're, always wanting to reach the top. And then it's, they're skilled at navigating both the material and emotional realms. So yeah, Capricorn. Aquarius. I have a friend who's an Aquarius. They're also an air sign, right? Yeah. And then even though they're the water water bearer, they're an air sign. So most humanitarian astrological sign. They are dedicated to making the world a better place, and that sounds about right. My friend Angela, who is a police, well, he used to be a police officer. He was in the service. He's now working at the arsenal and helping people whose families are deployed overseas. And he helps his father with the heating and air conditioning business. And he's very kind, and he's very helpful. And so, that describes him pretty well, I'd say. And then Pisces. Look up the word psychic in the dictionary. There would definitely be a picture of a Pisces next to it.
It's on my mind.
Intuitive, sensitive, and empathetic. And it's because it's the final sign. Pisces absorbs every lesson. So my experience with Pisces was not the greatest. We really hit it off initially, but then I couldn't maintain any kind of friendship with a Pisces because they can flip on you like a fish, in the water. They're just like flopping around and flipping on you, and then boom. So I don't know about Pisces. It says by two fish swimming in opposite directions, representing the constant division of Pisces' attention between fantasy and reality. Yeah, reality check, Pisces. So anyway, do read up on these things, and especially your own sign, so you can kind of help maybe understand yourself better, because I really think that understanding yourself is the key to having a happy life. And you have to have self-love. You have to have self-love. You have to understand yourself. You have to be willing to accept yourself for who you are. If you can't do that, you are never going to be able to receive love, and you're never going to find that happiness that you want, that you're looking for, that true being truly happy, with another person, or even by yourself. Because honestly, if you love yourself and you're in tune with yourself, and you are effectively communicating with yourself, you really don't feel the need to have another person, like a need. And so then when someone nice does come along, it'll be, you want to add them to your life. They'll want to add you to theirs because you're already happy. It's not like they're going to fight this uphill battle of trying to make someone happy, because that is a losing game. You don't ever want to have to really work really hard to try and make this person happy, because inherently they're already happy, and they realize that happiness comes from within, not from out there anywhere. It is really, you could be happy at any point in time, in any place, alone or with people. Just like you can be lonely and unhappy when you're in a group of people, when you're alone, when you're in a beautiful setting, when you're in a shitty setting. You really have to, just go inside yourself and really look at yourself. And I actually gave myself a hug. It works, and it made me feel better. And honestly, I have been able to manifest things a lot easier. I have found, the satisfaction in life that I think we all look to find. I just, life couldn't get a whole lot better for me at, 56 years old. It was crap when I was in my 40s. When I was 49 years old, I got chickenpox for the first time. I didn't have a place to live. I did not have my, I didn't have myself together. I was a wreck. I was, taking all these medications from the doctor, and none of it was helping. I mean, all it was causing me to do is, wreck trash cans with my car. It was bad. And it was nowhere, no way to be, nowhere to go. And, you don't have to go there. You don't have to do that. You really have to be willing, though, to take a hard look at yourself and admit your shortcomings to yourself. You have to be willing to say, I'm not going to do the same thing again and again, expecting that things will be different next time, because they won't be. And you can't go into a relationship, expecting the worst. If you go into a relationship thinking, he's going to leave me, because that's what they do. That's what they all do. They leave, or they'll be a jerk eventually. They'll do whatever eventually. And because that's the way it's always been. And I could see this going the same way. You could say that to yourself, but it'll be a self-fulfilling prophecy. It will happen. You will be right back where you started, because you went into it with the same mindset. You went into it with the same attitude. You went into it thinking he was going to leave. So guess who drove him off? I did it too. But I'm not doing that to myself anymore, because I recognize it. I recognize what I'm doing. I recognize, where I had lack of communication, where I was projecting, where I was had unreasonable expectations. And I think because I've analyzed myself, because I've sat down, taken a hard look at myself, I can admit these things. And I think I'm a happier person for it. And I know I'm more successful in my interpersonal relationships now. And I think that life is really all of what you make it. And so I would, submit to you guys, make it good. When you wake up tomorrow, think to yourself, today could be the best day of my entire life. Let's go out and find out. And maybe it will be. And you have to keep that positive outlook, though, because if you let yourself drown in negativity, or if you let yourself fall into that negative thinking, things like that are going to happen. If you think, oh, he didn't call me, I bet he's with another woman. Well, maybe then he will be, because you'll say to him things like, oh, I suppose you're looking at other girls, or I suppose you're doing this or that, or, oh, I saw the way you looked at my friend. You do those things, and you set yourself up for, that heartache again, because you're pushing people, to it. And if you're not, they're just going to be like, I did what I could. I'm out now, because people will only just put up with so much before they just, go to save themselves. And so don't push people to save themselves. And if someone wants to help you, don't make them regret it. Try and be a good zodiac symbol. and show some kindness to everyone. Be genuine in your dealings with people. And if you have things that you'd like to accomplish, be honest about that. Be honest with people, and they'll be honest and fair with you. That's been my experience. And so, that being said, I'm so glad that I could join you for this edition of Ask Madam. And I really, really enjoy meeting all you guys and being here to discuss these topics. And I love to share what I've learned with all of you. And if it helps you to have a brighter life, or to avoid heartache somewhere along the line, then I've done my job. So with that, I'll say blessed be, and have a great night, you guys. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Don't forget, Madam After Dark at 10 p.m. on Wednesday. Good night.